respected Consul General of India, Dr. Amit Telan, our distinguished panelists for the event, Mr. Harkamal Chima, Mr. Aditya Lele, Ms. Vishaka Oja, members of Indian diaspora and friends of India who might be watching this event live on our Facebook page. On behalf of Consulate General of India in Frankfurt, I welcome you all to the celebration of National Youth Day. As we know, our country celebrates 12th of January as the National Youth Day to mark the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was born in Kolkata on 12th of January 1863. From his early childhood, Swamiji was inclined to spirituality and he soon became the ardent follower of Swami Ramakrishna Paramhansa. Although Swamiji lived a very short life, he became one of the greatest spiritual leaders of the modern world, and his vision and his philosophy are today the national heritage of India. Swamiji contributed so much to the progress and spiritual elevation of humanity that he is now considered as the universal ideal for modern youth. To mark the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda ji, Ministry of Youth and Sports, Government of India organizes a National Youth Festival every year, and the Centers of Ramakrishna Mission, which was founded by Swamiji, also celebrate National Youth Day in India and around the world. In fact, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, inaugurated the 25th National Youth Festival this morning. The festival is being organized in Puducherry this year. On the special occasion of 159th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda ji today, we look forward to an interesting discourse by our panelists, not only as the part of National Youth Day celebration, but also as part of commemorating the milestone in the history of our country, and that is the 75th year of our independence, or Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav as we call it. To begin the event, may I call upon Consul General and our distinguished panelists to offer the floral tribute to Swami Vivekananda ji. I will also request my colleagues from the consulate to please also offer the floral tribute. Now, may I have the honor to invite Consul General for his opening remarks, please.
Ms. Vishakha Oja, Mr. Harkamal Chima, Mr. Aditya Lele, all the invited guests, colleagues from the Consulate General of India in Frankfurt, and all the members of Indian diaspora who have joined our events today, joined this event today virtually. On the occasion of the National Youth Day, on behalf of the Consulate General of India in Frankfurt, and on my personal behalf, let me convey my greetings to all of you. And I would also like to convey, as my colleague Mr. Ram Singh Chauhan has pointed out, this indeed is a very important opportunity because we are also celebrating the 75 years of India's independence, or Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And therefore, this particular occasion, when we remember Swami Vivekananda, who has played a pivotal role in the awakening of India and the awakening of Indian youth, which influenced, which inspired scores of Indian young men and women to participate in India's freedom struggle. And it is because of their efforts, it's because of their sacrifice that all of us are proud today as the citizens of independent India. So I think this is indeed a very important occasion that we have a very distinguished, and if I may say so, also very young and vibrant panel that is with us today. And like all of you, I am also eager to listen to all of them, to know a little bit about their own journey here in Germany, as they have contributed to different walks of society, and also a little bit about what is their idea of India's independence, what is their idea about the contribution of youth in making India stronger, more vibrant, and more powerful. With these words, once again, I welcome all of you to today's event. And as I said, I would not like to take more of your time because I am also equally eager to listen to all of our distinguished panelists. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. As Consul General has rightly pointed out, Swami Vivekananda's message of peace, harmony, and selfless service has been acknowledged by many great thinkers, social reformers, celebrated writers, and poets all around the world. Many freedom fighters and public figures of India, be it Mahatma Gandhi ji, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Sri Aurobindo, Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji, and so many more have spoken highly about Swamiji, as they found immensely influenced and guided by him. To talk about Swamiji's divine message, his accomplishments and contribution to the society, we have with us three young yet very successful and talented members of our community who will further enlighten us how Swamiji's teachings can guide us to our goal, that is self-reliant India. We have with us Mr. Harkamal Chima. Mr. Chima has been living in Germany for over 10 years and he is an automotive engineer by profession. He did his master's in Aachen University of Applied Sciences. He is also an active member of Aachen Gurdwara Committee. So please welcome Mr. Harkamal Chima. So would you like to talk? As you like. I mean, you can sit here also.
Sitting, that's perfectly fine. Yes.
Yeah, good evening everyone, respected members. And my name is Harkamal Chima. As already mentioned, I'm an automotive engineer working over here in Germany. I did my master's here and then started with the work. I came to Germany because of my passion for the automobile. So this was the selected choice. And over the years, there was a lot to learn. And at the same time, this gave me the opportunity to bring out all the one thing that we actually come to realize only when you are outside of your country, that what we are really missing and how great our country is. And that realization came early on, I would say. Didn't take many long years. And today, on this auspicious occasion of the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda ji, it is my great honor to be here and to be invited and to speak on such a respected and visionary who actually led a path and for the whole youth community. And there's so much to learn from him. He is like a beacon of light, and the way he really took out the souls of the Indian people and took them out of that slavery that we were having, in a sense, when we were in the colonial India, and how he could actually manage and deeply, when he felt the pain of the masses. That is what is there to learn. There are some cardinal points, I would say, regarding his teachings. It was that how firm believer he was in spirituality, and then his austere nature, that he was simply not into these worldly things and taking a lot of time just for the empowerment of the public in general and also women in particular. And it was a different event when he actually, for the first time on the world stage, when he spoke on the at the World of Religions in Parliament in Chicago. That was in 1897 and 93, sorry. And there was the first time when he brought this Indian subcontinent and the Hinduism, in particular the spirituality that we have, that to the world stage. And taking that forward, I would say, for me, the way I see it, that what we as a youth, we have to deliver, or we can look up to him and see what is the difference between, say, a normal person and people. We are privileged that we come from such a great land where we have so much to learn and so much to deliver and give it back to the society. Yeah, that should be it from my side as of now. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Ms. Vishakha Oza. She's a drug safety professional and currently pursuing her MBA at Frankfurt School of Finance and Management. I understand she has been associated with some of the Brand India events in the past. So now I would like to invite Ms. Vishakha Oza for her remarks.
I think first of all, thank you very much for giving this platform to share our perspective on this auspicious birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda ji. As Sir mentioned, that I'm here working as a professional, at the same time also doing my MBA in International Healthcare Management in Frankfurt School. One of the things when it comes to teachings from Swami Vivekananda ji, especially for women, I always see and look forward for that two critical factors are there for women to rise and awake and get their goals in their life. The first is education and the second is empowerment. And when I see and reflect myself in my own life story, I was the youngest in my whole family, being as 3 girls rising by my family and 1 brother as well. Always my father gave me all the opportunities to take my own decision, whether it's a career choice or whether it's a job opportunity, going to the different country or different state in India and then different country, and as well as choosing a life partner. I think we at this age in 21st century, we need to really think about how can we make sure that women empowerment is there and this was also teachings from Swami Vivekananda ji. And recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji also mentioned that women empowerment is so important, and how can we make that possible? Give a lot of opportunities to women, give possibilities to rise, give the possibilities to go into the management profiles. And I think that is the best part we can do from our environment, or also from our neighborhood. So thinking from that perspective, I think I'm actually living that life and living that teachings from Swami Vivekananda ji. And another point here, I would like to mention that our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi ji, has mentioned that upcoming future is definitely a sustainable future, and for that we need to make our India independent. And especially during pandemic, you have seen, and I am from healthcare sector, so you can imagine that how much healthcare is important for all the globe, not only for India but also for other countries, and especially to become independent by ourselves, which is also an initiative called as Atmanirbhar Bharat. And for that, for pharmacists, it's an upcoming future which is really bright, because Narendra Modi ji has already given this initiative of resilience from this supply chain resilience initiative, and that will make definitely India a global hub for raw materials. And I think that is a really great future for all of us. And from Swami Vivekananda ji teaching, I am also following the spirituality, which is also when you lead your life with spiritual side of it, I think that is the best part. And being as a woman, working woman, and at the same time doing the education, I think this meditation and yoga, that really makes a difference in life. So whoever is watching, young girls or women and all the other people, put that spirituality in your daily life, and which is also a teaching from Swami Vivekananda ji, and lead your life with that. Saying that, I'm thankful to Consulate General of India, Frankfurt, for giving this opportunity. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishakha ji and Harkanamal Cheema ji. As both of you have pointed out, Swamiji's speech at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago in 1893 and subsequent lectures and speeches that he gave all around the world changed the opinion of the world about India, and the world started regarding India as the land of rich cultural heritage, spirituality and harmony. Swami Vivekananda awakened the mind of Indians to their glorious cultural heritage. He infused self-confidence and positive outlook in young people, and his ideas still provide a roadmap to modern youth to attain success, prosperity, health and happiness. So our next speaker is Mr. Aditya Lele. Mr. Aditya Lele is an IT engineer and has been working in Germany for over 7 years. Mr. Lele is also a volunteer for Hindu Swamsevak Sangh in Germany. Now I would like to invite Mr. Lele for his remarks, please.
Dhanyawad. Namaste, Bhagini and Bandhu, as Swamiji said. First of all, I would like to thank Consulate for giving this opportunity. It always feels good to come at this Vastu, because it's actually technically a Bharatiya Bhumi. So it always feels good to be home away from home. So thanks for this opportunity. Today is 12th of January. I guess if my math is correct, exactly 159 years ago, Swami Vivekananda ji took his birth. Still, after 159 years, he has his charisma, I would say, on all of us, not only on the youth, but on all of us. Another point is, today we also celebrate National Youth Day. when Ojaji called me and asked me that you have to speak, and then I was thinking, okay, what research I need to do, because actually, honestly speaking, my introduction to Swami Vivekananda ji when I was a kid, in Marathi, my mother used to say that, "Are Swamiji ek party hote, to nidan 5 party nahi ho." That means Swamiji was his concentration and his abilities were so immense that he used to read it once and he used to remember it always. And I never, I took 5 times at least to reproduce one answer. So that's how I got introduced personally to Swamiji from my mother. Over the period of time, we all had in our history books his lessons, at least his trademark photo, and maybe one paragraph on him, which after when Ojaji called, after I read all the things, I felt that one paragraph did not do justice with Swamiji. So I would like to share my learnings that this is what my view is, that why Swamiji, for all of us is a youth hike. First thing, what I would say is, as a young person, we all have all the questions. We have that vigor to prove myself, okay, and also we have this power to debate. I guess when I read about Swamiji's young days, he was like that. He always used to get attracted towards new things. For example, during his younger age, he got attracted towards the movement called Brahmo Samaj. At that point of time, that movement was a bit progressive as compared to the traditional Hindu values. So he got attracted towards that, like any young person. And his thought of questioning what is there and not accepting the things as it is. This is what certainly connects the youth. That even when he met his guru, Ramakrishna Paramhans, he argued with him a lot. He questioned, and then in the end he accepted. Another point is, nowadays we hear a lot of debates, and many people are there just to prove their point and not to listen. But this is the one thing which we would certainly all learn from Swamiji, that okay, if you have questions, ask, but you need to have the open heart and also the ability of a seeker to seek answers and not only to prove yourself just for the sake of it. Another thing which is my personal favorite, which connects me with Swamiji, is his presence of mind. So I think you must have heard this story already, but I will repeat it maybe. During his travels in the West, Swamiji used to conduct many lectures on Hindutva. So during that time, he used to read a lot. And once he was sitting in his room and he was writing his next speech. There was a stack of books. There was a Bhagavad Gita upon it. There was a Bible. There were many books stacked upon it with some Western writers. One of the person, he came into the room and he said, Swamiji, he was a Western person. He said funnily to Swamiji that Swamiji, now you accept that Western philosophy is better than Bhagavad Gita because you have kept it at the bottom. So Swamiji being Swamiji, he did not get angry. He just removed the Bhagavad Gita and the entire stack of books fell down. And then he replied that Bhagavad Gita is the root of everything. If you remove it, all your ideologies will just crumble down. So I guess this presence of mind is nowadays very much required, where we hear a lot of debates going on in news with a lot of anger, but this is the presence of mind which we all can learn from Swamiji, I would say, as a youth. Another aspect which connects, which I think is his travel. So Swamiji traveled north, south of India, east, west of India, all the lengths and breadths of India to understand Bharat. What is the idea of Bharat? And what makes this entire Bharat, this khichdi of cultures, all the sects work together. So he traveled with an aim. And nowadays we see many young people like me traveling, okay, having their vlogs, YouTube channels, Facebook channels. But one thing we can certainly can get from Swamiji is not to travel aimlessly. And nowadays, I'm also one of them who takes selfies. So I would certainly say that yes, wherever we go and travel, we should take selfies, but we should not forget to self-reflect, which Swamiji said. So this will certainly help us to understand, connect with the people or the tradition where we are traveling, and also give them back also. So this is one of the aspects which attracts me towards Swamiji. Another point is, I would say, there is a famous quote, so I have taken it up from the internet, sorry. He said, take up one idea, make that one idea your life, think of it, dream of it, live on that idea, let the brain, muscle, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea, and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success. I would certainly say that our youth in Bharat have certainly taken this quote seriously, because we can see a lot of people getting into the startups with their new ideas, working hard towards it, and we can see the result in the unicorns that we produce. So this is, I would say, a positive side as a youth, because it's always that the older generation talks that, okay, our youth are like this, but this is, I would say that our people are really doing it right there in Bharat. Another aspect of his personality was how he used to balance out the things. So he had clarity of mind. Nowadays, we always have this debate between the older generation and younger generation. Just imagine, as we already spoke about the conference of world religions during 1893. Okay, at that point of time in America, there was a change happening. There were a lot of scientific experiments, many theories coming up. They were challenging the traditional old idea of religion. They were saying there was a Darwin's theory, which was challenging the biblical, thought of how human takes birth. It was saying that no, it's just an evolution from a monkey to human. During such time, there was a conference of religions taking place, and one monk, okay, when his Bhagavad Vastra, he goes to US, and that monk belongs to the land at that point of time, not the free Bharat, but just a British mere colony. Okay, going there and telling the entire world, and telling them that Vedanta and the idea of Advaita Vedanta, and explaining the word, the Hindutva, it takes a lot of guts. So it takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of reading, it takes a lot of sadhana, which we say. In this way, after that, and telling the world in this conference that religion and science are the two sides of the same coin. This is the balance for me, because at that time, point of time, world was completely divided into what is better, science or religion. But this person tells that these are the two sides of the same coin. So I would say certainly there is again a balance, that how to connect the tradition with the modernity. You can certainly learn something here from Swamiji. Last point I would say, as we all are NRIs, non-resident Indians. We could certainly once again take a leaf from Swamiji's book. He was also at the age of 30 went to US. Okay, he was enjoying. First, he proved himself, like all of us do, and then he was enjoying a lot of publicity because of what he did. And in that also, he kept his identity intact. It did not. He was proud of his identity. Because in NRI specifically, I work for Hindu Swayam Sevak Sangh. There is a Bala Gokulam there, and there I see a lot of question or debate happening about parents and their child. For example, there is always a question of identity. Who am I? What should I follow? What sanskars I should follow? Parents say that my Janma Bhumi, I come from Bharat, and my Karma Bhumi is Germany. But the kid says, my Janma Bhumi is Germany and my Karma Bhumi is also Germany. Then, how to connect these two? It's always a question. I would say we can find the answer to this philosophy of Dharma Bhumi. The person who is coming from Bharat might have the Janma Bhumi Bharat and Karma Bhumi Germany. The kid, Janma Bhumi Germany and Karma Bhumi Germany, but both of them have the same Dharma Bhumi, which is Bharat, from where our values, our core values come from. So the kid and the parent can agree upon the universal principles of Dharma. For example, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, it's always universal, no need to fight on it. So in this way, at least we can not only connect these two, but also the person who is born in Bharat and brought up in Bharat. So with the way of this universal value system, which we call Dharma, we can solve some of the identity problems that we are facing. So I think Swamiji is a big ocean, okay, and owing to the time, I think limited time, I would certainly say that if we can inculcate a fraction of Swamiji's teachings into our own life, then it's been 75 years of our independence. So we can certainly, we all, and then we can certainly become an Atmanirbhar Bharat. But I can certainly say that the future is not far away, where we would be the Vishwaguru Bharat. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Aditya-ji, for this inspiring words. As Aditya-ji rightly pointed out, that Swamiji was a knowledge seeker. Whatever teachings and messages he passed on to us was not simply a speech that was the result of his years of his spiritual practices and mindfulness. And the one thing which I also like personally about Swamiji's statements, I've just noted down, is that society does not go down because of the activities of criminals, but because of the inactivities of the good people. Another thing that Swamiji has said, again awakening the youth of our country and trying to give the message that we should all work hard to uplift our society, our country. He said, "My children must be ready to jump into fire if needed to accomplish their work. Now work, work, work. We will stop and compare our notes later on. Have patience, perseverance and purity." That is what Swami Vivekananda was. So friends, with these words, I would like to invite Consul General to present the token of appreciation to our panelists today.
So the lady first.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. All the very best to you. Thank you very much. It was really nice. Your thoughts.
Now I would like to invite my senior colleague, Mr. Anuj Kumar Gupta ji, to give a vote of thanks.
On the platform, Mr. Harkaman Chima, Ms. Vishaka Uza, and Shri Aditya Lele. As an aging youth, I was mesmerized to hear their views. I am always interested to hear youths because they are the future of the nation, and they got, actually in my generation it was the old who was being followed by the youth, but now I feel it is the old who follows the youth. As part of celebrating our 75 years of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we had the privilege to hear your views of these honorable guest participants on how Swami Vivekananda's message of national awakening inspires us to contribute to Atmanirbhar Bharat. Swami Vivekananda was an icon for the youth of his time, and his teachings continue to be relevant to the youth of modern day. That was also one thing that separated him from the rest of the world. He was a class in himself. He was the torchbearer of carrying the message of what Bharat, spiritual Bharat, is all about to the West through his famous speech in Chicago given in 1893. The role of youth in modern day development of the nation is immense. They are participants of nation building, carrying social values wherever they go. That is relevant to analyze also or settle and pass on these social values to the next generation. We would have liked to have an in-presence event, but for the resurgence of pandemic and necessity of taking utmost precaution in line with local regulations. However, it does not diminish the importance of the community taking on the role of bringing together our culture and social values to this beautiful country. Our youth carry and continue to spread the message of tolerance and universal acceptance given by Swami Vivekananda in his address to the World Parliament of Religions in 1893, wherever the youth reside. On behalf of Consul General Dr. Amit Dhiran and the members of the Consulate General of India, I wish to thank our esteemed guests who have taken time out of their busy schedules to participate today in this event, in the celebration of National Youth Day and sharing their views. I would also like to thank the Indian community and those who are participating in the program through our social media platform like Facebook. It does not diminish the importance of this event as community event, and it would be our continued endeavor to encourage the community to participate in such future events and events that help our efforts in keeping the community together through our social outreach programs and spreading the message of universal brotherhood. I would also like to thank my colleagues in the consulate who have put in a lot of efforts in putting up this program. Thank you.
Now we have come to the end of this event. We hope that Swamiji's message of peace, purity, perseverance keep guiding us to work towards the progress and prosperity of our country and fulfill the dream of self-reliant India. So on behalf of the whole team of Consulate General of India, please allow me to all our members of Indian community and those who are watching us on Facebook to convey best wishes for 2022. Dhanyavad. Jai Hind.